Have you ever wondered if that old coin in your pocket or collection could be worth a fortune? Some rare coins have sold for millions of dollars, making them some of the most valuable collectibles in the world. In this video, we'll explore the most valuable coins and what makes them worth so much. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. First up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel Penny, specifically the large date version with an S mint mark in dirty condition. You might not think that a dirty penny could hold much value, but you'd be surprised. In this video, we'll discuss why this particular 1943 Lincoln Steel penny is so valuable, even in a condition that's seen better days, and what it's worth in today's coin market. Stick with us as we dive into the rich history, design features, and market value of this remarkable coin. First, let's talk about the history behind this unique penny. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny is famous for being struck during World War II when copper, a key material used in making coins, was in short supply. To conserve copper for the war effort, the U.S. Mint made a temporary switch to using steel for the production of pennies. The result? The 1943 steel penny, which stands out from the usual copper-based Lincoln pennies. Its shiny, silvery appearance makes it easily recognizable, and it's often a favorite among coin collectors due to its historical significance. Now let's focus on the coin we're discussing today. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the S Mint mark, which means it was produced at the San Francisco Mint. The large date version of the coin is particularly noteworthy because of the size difference in the numbers of the year 1943, making it stand out from other 1943 pennies. While the penny we're looking at today is in dirty condition, its historical significance and unique features still make it highly collectible. Dirty condition doesn't mean that the coin's value disappears. It simply affects how much collectors are willing to pay. But more on that in a moment. On the obverse, we see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The inscription, "In God We Trust," runs along the top, and Liberty and 1943 are displayed as part of the design. Even in dirty condition, the features of Lincoln's face are still visible, though the surface of the coin shows signs of wear, dirt, and corrosion. Flipping the coin over to the reverse, we're reminded of the wheat stalks design, which was a common motif for Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958. The reverse also features the inscriptions E pluribus unum at the top and 1 cent at the bottom, with the familiar wheat stalks flanking the sides. Despite the dirt, the design is still relatively clear, and you can make out the shape of the wheat stalks and the overall structure of the coin. So how many of these 1943 Lincoln Steel pennies were minted? In total, approximately 191 million steel pennies were struck in 1943, and of those, 22 million were made at the San Francisco Mint, which is where our S Mint mark comes in. While these coins are relatively common in terms of mintage, the S Mint mark does add a layer of rarity compared to the other minting locations. In today's market, a 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with an S Mint mark in dirty condition typically holds a value of around $100,000. This might not sound like much compared to other more pristine examples, but when you consider that 1943 steel pennies are a key date in coin collecting, even a dirty coin like this can be of interest to collectors. The value fluctuates based on factors like collector demand, auction prices, and the rarity of the coin in certain conditions. While coins in fine condition or uncirculated grades can be worth much more, this dirty version still holds its own in the market. It's also important to note that this coin's historical context, being produced during World War II, adds to its appeal. If you happen to have a 1943 steel penny in your collection, it's important to handle it with care. While this coin is in dirty condition, it's best to store it in a way that protects it from further wear and dirt. A coin holder or slab is a great way to keep it safe. One thing to note, cleaning your coin is generally not recommended, as it can reduce its value. The dirt on this penny is part of its story, and removing it can cause damage that detracts from the coin's charm. If your coin is particularly grimy, you can consult a professional coin conservator to see if any restoration or preservation is possible without compromising the coin's value. Next up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, featuring a black color shade and in full damage condition. You might be wondering if a coin like this still holds any value and how much it's worth in today's market. Stick with me, and I'll break down everything you need to know about this damaged beauty. Let's start by taking a quick look at the coin itself. This is the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, and it's part of the larger series that was minted from 1909 to 1958. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait, while the reverse shows two stalks of wheat, which is where the coin gets its name. As for the mint mark, this one is from Philadelphia, since it doesn't have a mint mark, making it a standard issue from that year. But this coin is far from ordinary. Not only does it feature a black color shade, but it also has significant damage, which affects its overall condition. The black coloring could be a result of tarnishing, oxidation, or even improper storage. Now, the question we're here to answer is, what does all this mean for its value? When we say full damage, we're talking about coins that have been heavily worn down, scratched, dented, or possibly even exposed to corrosive elements. This 1945 penny shows clear signs of aging, and the black color shade could be a result of exposure to moisture or pollutants over time. The damage on the coin has definitely diminished its original beauty, but it's still worth discussing because damaged coins sometimes have collectible value depending on their rarity in the market. Now, it's important to understand that in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin in full damage condition doesn't command the same prices as one in pristine or uncirculated condition. But let's see how this particular penny holds up in today's market. Now, let's talk about value. In today's market, a 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in full damage condition, especially with that black color shade, typically ranges between $65,000. That's right, even in this condition, the coin still holds some value. It's important to note that the black color shade does add a slight premium compared to a coin without any discoloration, but the damage still significantly reduces its overall value. As we've mentioned, the damage is the biggest factor affecting the coin's price. The more wear and corrosion a coin has, the less it's worth. The black color on this penny might look unattractive to some, but it could be of interest to collectors who enjoy unique or unusual coins. It might even be a sign of natural toning or environmental exposure. So, if you're looking to buy or sell a 1945 wheat penny in this condition, your best options are online platforms like eBay, where you can find other collectors who may be interested in damaged or unique coins. Local coin shops or coin shows are another option, though dealers may offer less for a damaged coin than you might expect from an uncirculated one. If you're a coin collector, damaged coins like this one can still have a place in your collection, especially if you're trying to complete a set or focus on coins with unique features. Sometimes, the history behind a damaged coin is just as fascinating as the coin itself. If you're storing a damaged coin like this, it's important to keep it in a safe place where it won't sustain further damage. You can use a protective case or holder to help preserve it, especially since the black coloring indicates it's been exposed to some environmental factors. Proper storage can help maintain its current condition and avoid further deterioration. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel Penny with D mint mark and the large date. Known for its historical significance and unique features, this coin continues to attract collectors and investors alike. If you've ever wondered about the value of this penny in today's market, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll break down the fascinating history, design, and current market value of the 1943 Lincoln Steel Penny with a D mint mark in fine condition. So, stick around as we uncover why this penny is a must-have for collectors and how much it's worth in today's auctions. Let's start with some background. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny was minted during one of the most challenging times in U.S. history, World War II. During this time, copper was in short supply due to wartime needs, so the U.S. Mint made a temporary shift to producing pennies with steel instead of copper. This shift led to the creation of the steel penny, a coin that's now instantly recognizable because of its shiny, silver-like appearance. The 1943 Lincoln Steel Penny became one of the most unique coins ever produced, and its large date version, in particular, is highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's take a closer look at the 1943 Lincoln Steel Penny we're focusing on today. This particular penny features the large date, which refers to the distinctive oversized digits in the year 1943. It was produced at the Denver Mint, and as indicated by the D Mint mark, it adds an additional layer of rarity to the coin. The large date version is prized by collectors for its distinct look, and the D Mint mark further elevates its value. But what about the condition? Well, this penny is in fine condition, which means it shows signs of wear but retains enough details to be recognizable and valuable. On the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust Liberty," and the large date of 1943 are all visible, though slightly worn in the case of this fine condition coin. Despite the wear, Lincoln's image remains clear and easily identifiable, making this penny a true piece of history. Flipping the coin over, we see the reverse side, which features the famous wheat stalks design. This was the standard reverse for Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner as well. The inscriptions on the reverse include E pluribus unum at the top and 1 cent at the bottom, with the wheat stalks on either side. Despite the coin's fine condition, the details of the wheat stalks remain quite visible, adding to the coin's appeal. Now, let's talk about the mintage. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny with D Mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint, where about 191 million steel pennies were struck in total that year. Out of those, approximately 20 million were minted with the D Mint mark. While this is still a large number, the D Mint mark version is less common than the Philadelphia No Mint mark version, making it more desirable to collectors. So how much is a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with a D Mint mark in fine condition worth today? In today's market, coins in fine condition typically sell for around $86,000 at auction, depending on factors like demand and overall collector interest. While this may seem like a modest amount, it's important to remember that the historical significance and rarity of the large date with D Mint mark version elevate its value among collectors. If you're lucky enough to have a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with a D Mint mark in your collection, it's important to handle it with care. Even coins in fine condition can deteriorate if not stored properly. Using a coin holder or slab will help protect your investment and keep the coin in the best possible shape. And a quick tip for collectors: never clean your coins. Cleaning can damage the surface of the coin, which will lower its value. If you ever need to restore or preserve your coin, it's best to consult a professional coin conservator to ensure that it doesn't lose its value. Next up, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark in a red color shade but with full damage. You might be wondering, can a damaged coin still hold value? Well, stick around as we explore this coin's worth in today's market. So let's talk about the coin itself. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the famous wheat penny series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. This particular coin is a 1946 issue, and it doesn't have a mint mark, which means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. On the obverse, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, and the reverse side features 2 stalks of wheat, a design that gave these coins their iconic name. But what sets this particular coin apart is that it has a red color shade, indicating that it still retains some of its original vibrant color despite its condition. However, it also comes with full damage, which means it's seen some rough handling over time. Now, this may leave you wondering if there's any value left in it. When we talk about full damage, we're referring to a coin that has visible signs of wear, scratches, dents, discoloration, or even possible corrosion. This kind of damage usually results from poor handling, exposure to the elements, or improper storage. For a coin like this, the red color might still be visible in some spots, but you'll likely see areas where the coin has been scratched or worn down significantly. Even though this coin might not be in pristine condition, it's still worth examining, because collectors sometimes find value in damaged coins, especially if they're rare, or from a significant year. However, it's important to note that the value of damaged coins will be lower than those in excellent or uncirculated condition. Now, let's talk about the value. A 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in full damaged condition, even with its red color shade, will not fetch as much as one in better condition. In today's market, you're likely looking at a range of $2,000 for a coin in this condition. While it's not going to break the bank, it's still a coin with historical value. The red color shade adds a bit of premium value, but the damage significantly reduces the price. Market demand. The coin's value can fluctuate based on demand in the market. If collectors are actively seeking 1946 pennies, the value could be slightly higher. But generally, damaged coins don't command high prices. Rarity of the coin. While the 1946 penny is not particularly rare, the fact that it is from the later years of the Wheat Penny series can make it interesting to collectors looking to complete their sets. So if you're looking to sell or buy a 1946 Wheat Penny in damaged condition, your best bet would be to check online auction sites like eBay, or you can visit local coin shops. However, keep in mind that dealers will likely offer less for a damaged coin than for one in better condition. Still, it's always worth asking for an appraisal if you're unsure. If you're a collector, even damaged coins like this 1946 penny can be valuable in their own way. Sometimes they're purchased for the purpose of completing a collection, especially if they are hard to find in better condition. If you're buying or selling damaged coins, make sure you're transparent about their condition, and don't expect to get top dollar for them unless they have significant historical value. Also, if you're holding on to a damaged coin, it's essential to store it properly. Even though it's damaged, improper storage could cause further deterioration, which can affect its value even more. So, there you have it. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, in red color shade but in full damage condition, will be worth around $50,000 in today's market. It's not the most valuable coin out there, but it still has historical and collectible value. Just remember that condition is king in coin. Collecting the better the condition, the higher the value. Next up, the most significant coins in U.S. history, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Steel penny with the large date and no mint mark. This particular penny is not just a piece of currency, it's a symbol of a challenging era in American history. Today, we're going to explore what makes this coin so valuable, especially in good condition, and what it's worth in the current market. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny and discover its true value today. To truly understand why the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny is so special, we need to step back in time to 1943. During World War II, the U.S. was facing a severe shortage of copper. To conserve this precious metal for the war effort, the U.S. Mint made a significant change. They decided to produce the penny using steel instead of the usual copper. This move resulted in the creation of the famous steel penny, which would become one of the most recognizable coins in American numismatic history. Now let's zoom in on the coin itself. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny is unique because of its large date. The digits in the year 1943 are noticeably larger than the standard size used on other pennies. This large date variety was produced by the Philadelphia Mint and was specifically created during a short period of time, making it rarer than other coins minted in the same year. On the obverse of this coin, we see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, has remained a cornerstone of the Lincoln penny series for over a century. Here, Lincoln's image is clearly visible despite the good condition of the coin, showing some wear, but still retaining enough detail to be easily recognizable. Now, flipping the coin over, we get a glimpse of the reverse side, which features the iconic wheat stalks design. This reverse was designed by Brenner and was used on Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958. It shows two stalks of wheat, with the inscriptions E pluribus unum at the top and 1 cent at the bottom. Despite the coin's good condition, the details of the wheat stalks are still visible, making this coin a beautiful example of early 20th century American design. Let's talk about the mintage numbers for the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny. In total, over 1 billion steel pennies were produced in 1943. However, the large date variety with no mint mark is particularly significant. This variety was minted in Philadelphia, and there was no mint mark on the coin to indicate its place of production. Out of the billions struck, the large date version is relatively rare and remains highly sought after by collectors today. So what is the value of a 1943 Lincoln steel penny in good condition today? Well, in the current coin market, a good condition version of this penny typically sells for between $95,000 in most auctions. While this may not seem like a huge amount, it's important to remember that the historical significance, the large date variety, and the steel composition all add a certain level of rarity and collector appeal. Next up, the USA Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from 1957, but not just any 1957 penny. We're focusing on the one without a mint mark, in a stunning red color shade and in fine condition. In this video, we'll explore what makes this coin so valuable and what it's worth in today's market. Let's dive in. First things first, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during the final years of the wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. This coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the reverse side shows two stalks of wheat, a classic design that gave the coin its name. What makes the 1957 penny special is that it was one of the last years of the wheat design, as the Lincoln Memorial design took over in 1959. So when you hold a 1957 penny, you're holding a piece of American history. But what really sets this coin apart in the collector world is its condition, specifically when it's in fine condition with a red color shade. When we say this coin is in fine condition, we're referring to its level of wear and detail. A fine coin will show some signs of circulation, but the main features like Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse are still clearly visible. In fact, a coin in fine condition will have light wear, but it's far from being heavily scratched or worn down. If you look closely at this 1957 penny, you can still make out the fine details of Lincoln's face and the wheat design on the reverse. Now, let's talk about the red color shade. Coins that have retained their original red color are often considered more desirable by collectors because they haven't been exposed to too much wear or environmental damage. Over time, copper coins like the Lincoln wheat penny can turn brown, but those that maintain that vibrant reddish color are often referred to as red coins. The red color is often an indicator of a coin that was well preserved in the right conditions, making it stand out even more to collectors. For a 1957 penny to keep its red color is pretty special, and this can significantly affect the coin's value. If you happen to find one in red condition, it's definitely worth paying attention to. Alright, now let's get to the good stuff. How much is this 1957 Lincoln wheat penny worth today? Well, the value can vary depending on a few factors, but in general, a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in red color shade and fine condition can be valued at anywhere between $45,000 in today's market. You may find some coins on the higher end of that scale, especially if they are in exceptional red condition or have been graded by a professional grading service red color shade. Coins with that beautiful red color are more sought after. The more vibrant and well-preserved the color, the higher the value. Demand in the market. Coin values can fluctuate based on how many collectors are after that specific coin at any given time. The more popular the coin, the more its value can go up. If you're looking to sell or buy a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny, there are a few places to check out. Websites like eBay or other specialized numismatic auction sites are great for seeing what these coins are selling for. Local coin shops are also a solid option. They can give you an estimate on the coin's value based on its condition and current market trends. If you're a collector, or if you're just starting out, here's a quick tip. Always take good care of your coins. If you're lucky enough to find a 1957 penny in red color shade, be sure to store it in a cool, dry place and consider using a coin holder or album to preserve its value. And if you're buying, make sure to check the coin's condition carefully. What might look like a red coin could actually be a brown coin with some red toning, which won't hold the same value. Next up, the 1951 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. But this isn't just any penny, it's the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, and it's in extra fine condition with a stunning red color shade. In this video, we're going to explore the history, features, and value of this remarkable coin and discover what it's worth in today's market. So, let's get started. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, let's take a moment to understand the historical context. The year 1951 was a significant time in American history. The U.S. was recovering from World War II, and the economy was transitioning into a period of growth. The Lincoln wheat penny was part of everyday transactions, but little did anyone know. These coins would later become highly sought-after collectibles. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the last years to feature the wheat stalk design, which had been a staple on the penny since 1909. This was a coin that people used daily, but now, over 70 years later, it's a valuable treasure for collectors. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, in extra fine condition, is a beautiful example of numismatic artistry. This penny is known for its smooth, clear details and striking red color shade, a rarity in coins of its age. Over time, the copper in the penny has developed a rich reddish hue which enhances its aesthetic appeal. What makes this coin particularly valuable is its extra fine condition. Coins in this grade show minimal wear, with all the key details of the design still visible. On the obverse, we can clearly see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, with sharp details that show the president's profile. The date of 1951 is prominently displayed below Lincoln, and the inscription, "In God We Trust," arches above his head. On the reverse, we see the classic wheat stalk design, which is one of the most iconic features of the Lincoln penny series. The wheat stalks represent the agricultural roots of the United States, and the inscription, "E pluribus unum," is visible above the stalks. Below them, we find 1 cent in bold letters, emphasizing the coin's value. Despite the coin's age, this design remains crisp and clear due to the extra fine condition. In total, there were over 1,001,951 Lincoln wheat pennies minted, and they were produced in both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia Mint version, which has no mint mark, is what we're focusing on today. Though the mintage for the 1951 penny was high, it's still a coin that continues to catch the eye of collectors, especially when it's in such good condition. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition with a red color shade in today's market. A penny in this quality can fetch anywhere between $30,000 in today's auctions or coin dealers' shops. While this may not seem like a huge amount, it's important to note that the red color adds extra value because it signals a well-preserved coin that hasn't been exposed to excessive wear or tarnishing over the decades. For coins in higher grades, such as uncirculated or proof-like examples, the value can increase significantly. However, the extra fine condition and vibrant red color shade make this penny a rare find and a wonderful addition to any collection. If you own a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition, or any rare coin for that matter, it's crucial to store it properly. The best way to preserve your penny's condition is by keeping it in a coin holder or slab to protect it from further damage. This ensures that the coin retains its value over time and doesn't succumb to wear from handling. Up the 1920 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. This particular penny, without a mint mark, and in good condition, is a fascinating piece of U.S. coinage. It may not be the rarest coin out there, but it certainly holds significance in both historical context and value for collectors. So, let's take a look at this coin and see what it's worth in today's market. The 1920 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a time of great change for the United States. The country had recently emerged from World War I, and the Roaring Twenties had just begun. The economy was booming, and the world was rapidly modernizing. This was also a period when coins like the Lincoln wheat penny were widely used, and they were a key part of daily life for many Americans. First introduced in 1909, the Lincoln wheat penny featured the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The wheat penny design was used until 1958, making this series an iconic part of American numismatics. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, along with the words, "In God We Trust Liberty," and the year 1920. The coin was struck without a mint mark, meaning it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the only mint that did not use a mint mark during that time. On the reverse, we have the classic wheat stalks framing the inscription, 1 cent, a design that is simple yet emblematic of the agricultural roots of the U.S. The words E pluribus unum and United States of America are also featured on the reverse. Despite being in good condition, the design still stands out, showcasing the enduring appeal of the Lincoln wheat penny. Now, let's talk about the condition of this 1920 Lincoln wheat penny. In good condition, the coin shows noticeable wear, particularly on the high points of the design. The details are still visible, but they've become slightly worn down over time from circulation. The obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln remains fairly legible and the reverse wheat stalks are still visible, although not as sharp as they would be in higher grades. Coins in good condition are generally those that have been used but still retain enough detail to be recognizable and of interest to collectors. While this penny isn't in pristine shape, it still holds value as part of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. So, what is the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth today in good condition? Well, in today's market, a 1920 penny without a mint mark, in good condition, typically has a value between $1,000. This can vary based on the specific condition of the coin, as well as the demand from collectors at the time of sale. While the 1920 penny is not considered rare, its good condition and historical significance as part of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series keep it valuable for collectors. Coins from this era are often sought after by those looking to complete sets or add notable pieces to their collection. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat penny continues to hold interest for collectors due to its place in U.S. coinage history. Collectors of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series often seek coins from specific years, like 1920, to complete their sets. Even in good condition, this penny is a nice addition to a collection, particularly for those who focus on coins from the early 20th century. Additionally, coins from this time period, including those from 1920, are valuable not just for their design but also for their connection to Abraham Lincoln, one of the most influential figures in American history. The Lincoln Wheat Penny serves as both a reminder of Lincoln's legacy and as a tangible piece of our nation's numismatic history. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with D-mint mark in very fine condition. This penny is not just any old piece of history, it's a coin that has stood the test of time and continues to captivate collectors today. In this video, we'll talk about the history, the design features, and most importantly, the value of this iconic coin in today's market. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. To understand the value of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, it's important to know the historical context. The year 1944 was right in the middle of World War II. While the war was taking a toll on the world, the U.S. was transitioning to a post-war economy. The U.S. Mint, at this time, was focused on producing enough coins to keep the economy running smoothly. The Lincoln Wheat Penny had been in circulation for over 30 years by 1944, and it was still using the familiar wheat stalk design on the reverse. However, 1944 was also a year that would mark a special place in the world of numismatics. Why? Because during this time, many of the coins were still being made from copper, as the war had led to the production of some unique wartime pennies that were made from steel or zinc. But that's a different topic for another day. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is known for its obverse design featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's image is sharp and proud, with the date 1944 located beneath his profile. The mint mark, in this case, the D for the Denver Mint, is located right below the date. The word liberty can be seen above Lincoln's head, along with the motto, "In God We Trust." The detail on this coin, being in very fine condition, shows little wear but retains all of Lincoln's key features. The overall look of the coin is very clean, with no major scratches or surface damage. On the reverse of the coin, we see the well-known wheat stalk design, which was used on the Lincoln cent from 1909 to 1958. The wheat stalks symbolize the agricultural heritage of the United States. Above them, we see the motto E pluribus unum, and beneath the stalks, the words 1 cent clearly indicate the coin's value. As with the obverse, the reverse of this penny in very fine condition maintains its crisp features and has excellent definition. You'll notice the slight wear on the wheat stalks and the coin's edges, which is typical for very fine condition. But overall, it's a coin that looks much better than one you would expect after years of circulation. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark was produced in significant quantities. In fact, over 430 million of these pennies were minted at the Denver Mint. Even though the mintage numbers are quite high, finding a well-preserved coin like the one we're focusing on today is rare. Coins that are in very fine condition and show minimal wear are always more desirable to collectors, making them more valuable. So, what is this coin worth today? Well, the value of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in a very fine condition can vary depending on the market and the coin's exact condition. Typically, you can expect to see coins like this sell for anywhere between $15,000 in today's market. While this might not seem like much, it's important to remember that this coin is still in relatively high demand among collectors because of its historical significance and relatively good condition for a coin that's over 75 years old. Of course, the value can go higher if the coin is in higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated. Coins in perfect condition or with rare variations such as errors or misprints can fetch even more. But for a very fine example like this, the value is generally within the range we mentioned. Now, if you have a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in your collection, make sure to store it properly. The best way to keep the coin in good condition and maintain its value is by using a protective coin holder or slab. This helps preserve the coin's surface and prevents it from being damaged by dirt, oil, or even improper handling. To wrap it up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in very fine condition is a highly collectible coin with a rich history. It's not the rarest of pennies, but its well-preserved state and the classic design continue to make it a favorite among collectors. If you come across one in your change or have one in your collection, now you know what it's worth in today's market. Next up, the 1938 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in extra fine condition. You might be wondering what it's worth in today's market. Well, stay tuned, because I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this coin, including its value and why it's so sought after by collectors. First, let's take a closer look at the coin. This is the 1938 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, and it was minted in Philadelphia with a D mint mark, indicating that it was produced at the Denver Mint. The front features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse side shows two stalks of wheat, giving the coin its signature design. The coin we're focusing on today is in extra fine condition, which means it has been well preserved. You'll notice clear details on both the obverse and reverse sides, with only a small amount of wear on high points, perfect for collectors who want a coin that's almost as good as new now. The D mint mark is an important factor when determining the coin's value. In 1938, there were three major mints producing these pennies: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The D mint mark indicates this coin was struck in Denver, and it's considered a common mint mark for that year. However, don't let that fool you. There are still some nuances that make this coin special. Extra fine condition is where this coin really stands out. In extra fine condition, the details on the coin are still very sharp. You'll notice the clear outlines of Lincoln's portrait, the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the absence of major wear. Coins in this condition were well preserved and likely spent only a short amount of time in circulation. This level of preservation is key for its value. So, how much is this coin worth today? In extra fine condition, a 1938 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is valued between $500 in today's market. While it's not a rare coin, the fact that it's in extra fine condition definitely increases its value compared to coins in poorer condition. Now, if you're lucky enough to find one in even better condition, like uncirculated or MS-63, the value could jump up significantly. But in extra fine condition, you're looking at a solid $700. The D mint mark doesn't make this coin rare, but it does help determine which mint the coin came from. In the case of the 1938 penny, most collectors focus on coins in excellent condition, regardless of the mint mark. The 1938 Lincoln wheat penny isn't considered rare, but coins from certain years or mints that are in great condition always attract interest. The demand for well-preserved coins like this one helps keep its value steady in the market. So if you're looking to buy or sell a 1938 D wheat penny in extra fine condition, you have a few options. You can find them on online marketplaces like eBay or even through local coin shops. If you're selling, be sure to have a clear description of the coin's condition and always compare prices from similar listings to ensure you're getting a fair deal. Now, you might be wondering, should I hold on to this coin, or is it just a good investment for the short term? While this penny is valuable today, it's important to note that its value isn't likely to skyrocket anytime soon. That said, it's still a great coin for any collection, especially if you're building a set of wheat pennies or you're just getting started with coin collecting. If you're looking for a coin with a lot of potential for future growth, you might want to focus on rarer or less common years. However, the 1938 D wheat penny in extra fine condition is still a solid piece that can hold sentimental and historical value. So there you have it, the 1938 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in extra fine condition is worth about $15,000 in today's market. It may not be a super rare coin, but its excellent condition and classic design make it a great addition to any coin collection. If you have one of these in your collection, you've got yourself a nice little treasure. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this video helped you understand the value of the 1938 D wheat penny and what makes it special. If you've got any questions or you have a similar coin in your collection, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future coin content. Until next time, happy collecting!